Hey y'all, Jen here with my crochet basket. Welcome back to the basket. Today we are doing another keychain tutorial. I have found this obsession with frogs, so this is what we're gonna do today. This adorable quarter-sized frog is super cute, works up super fast, and only requires a few supplies to get it made. So let's get started. So for this project you will need some worsted weight yarn. I'm just using an acrylic. You will also need a 3.5 millimeter hook, a tapestry needle, stitch marker, scissors, and for the hardware on this one we are using two 6 millimeter safety eyes. I also have hardware for the keychain apparatus, and then these tools here I am going to be using to help attach all of the hardware pieces. A little side trick, if you didn't know this, if you have a screwdriver that has interchangeable bits on the end, you can pull out the bit and just use this open end here to help secure the washers on the back of your eyes by pushing down on them. It's the perfect size for that. You will also need just a bit of stuffing for this little guy. This actually may be too much, so I really do mean just a little bit. So we are going to start. Making two eyes. We'll need to make the first, detach it, and then make the second. But for this one, we are going to leave a decent tail here. We'll wrap our yarn around our fingers, making sure that the working yarn goes in the back. And then I'm going to take my hook, go under the first loop, grab the second, and pull it through. Now this is our magic loop. I'm just going to pull my fingers out, leave it as a nice big circle, put my working yarn over my finger, and secure that with a slip stitch. So now we are ready to get started. And again, as I said, 6 single crochet in our magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now that we've got our 6, we are just going to tighten our loop by pulling the tail. And then we need to just do 6 single crochet around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's my 6th. I'm going to start working into it. I'm going to place my stitch marker here. I am notorious for forgetting that. So here's your reminder, if you do too. I mark the first stitch of every round with my stitch marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, and then we just need to make one more of those. I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll meet you back up once we're ready to do that. Okay, so here is the second eye. And I did want to note that I finished off my eye with an invisible finish. You could easily do a slip stitch, and then after I do my invisible finish, I do tie the original tail and the new tail together to secure it inside the eye. The space is a little small to be poking around in there with a sewing needle, so that is a handy trick that I learned. Alright, so now that we've finished our second eye, we are going to single crochet 3 around this first eye. Alright, and then I am going to pick up the second eye, and I'm just going to single crochet in any stitch. I'm going to single crochet all the way around. So 1, 5 and 6. Now I am just going to single crochet right back into the first eye after this one and do the remaining 3. So you may get a little confused here from where you joined the two eyes. So I actually recommend counting back from your stitch marker, 1, 2, and 3, and that is the appropriate stitch that you need to do your next single crochet in. 1. And this particular yarn has been a little rough on me wanting to split, so thank you for being patient with me. All right, so for round 4, we are going to start with an increase. I'm gonna put my stitch marker back in the first one. Don't forget to increase. We'll put the same stitch, the same single crochet right there in that same exact stitch. Now we are going to single crochet 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we are going to do 2 increases in the next 2 stitches. So increase 1 and increase again in the next stitch. And then we are going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. We should have 1 stitch left, and we are going to increase in that one. So for round 5, we are just going to single crochet all the way around. We should have 16 stitches. And 16. Okay, so we're going to pause here to insert our eyes. And this is how I do it. So the front of your frog will have your stitch marker on the left hand side of your frog. So this is considered the front, and the side with the majority of the increases is the back. So I like to insert my eyes in the second row down, approximately right in the center of that eye. And we just kind of got to push it in there. It's not going to fit super well just yet, so that's okay. But we do want them both in, and then we're going to turn our frog inside out. Okay, so we're getting this turned inside out. All right. I'm going to put the back on. Sometimes these go on okay, sometimes they fight me. That one's gonna fight me. It should go all the way down. There is not enough material here to keep it from securing through the whole thing. Okay, and you'll see that I got it all the way down because I have several ridges sticking up above the washer. And that's exactly what we want. We want this as far down on this eye as we can get it to go. Let's see if I can at least get the first one down. No, that one's going to be very stubborn. All right, there we go. And now I am going to take my lighter and I'm going to melt these. Oh, that one did not go down all the way. Let me get that one down further. There we go. Okay. Just want to make sure that you don't have any loose strands of yarn laying around getting too close to it. Don't know if anybody else should be touching this with their finger once they've set it on fire, but I can tolerate it, and I like to squish it so that it's pretty flat. You can see the difference between the two. So this will definitely fit inside the frog's eye, no problem. I just need this one to match. Okay, there we go. All right, now we're gonna flip it back inside right, and we have two perfectly secure frog's eyes. All right, now we also have this little hole right here at the very top of this. I am going to grab one of the tails from where we started, and I'm just going to sew it closed. It'll help the stuffing stay inside. The eyes pretty much will stay closed by themselves anyway, but you can never be too careful. All right, and what I'm going to do is I am just going to go in from one side, go straight across, and then go one stitch over right in the same space. I'm going to pull that tight, and I'm going to put it back where I put it through the first time, and then I'm going to weave this in to just a couple of strands just to secure it a little bit better. Keep it from coming apart on me. Okay, that ought to do it. All right. Now we can finish off our frog. We're almost done, guys. This one works up super quick. All right, for round 6, we are going to start with an increase. Put your stitch marker back in. There's the second stitch for our increase. Now we are going to do a 3-stranded bobble stitch. So what I mean by that is I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook, pull up a loop. We're going to repeat that 2 more times to where we've done that 3 times in total. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull it back through, and then 1 more time, yarn over, insert your hook, pull it back through, pull up that loop, all in the same stitch. And now I am going to yarn over and pull through all the strands except for the very first one that was on here. Now we've got 2 loops on our hook. I'm going to yarn over and close that stitch. That is 1 bobble stitch. Now I'm going to show you that again here in just a minute because we're going to do 2. These are the frog's little legs. But in the meantime, we are going to do 4 single crochet to get to the other side. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then our next bobble, 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over, pull through all but the last. Yarn over, pull through 2. And then we are going to do an increase. And then we will single crochet the rest of the way around. There should be 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, we're all done. Now I will tell you that sometimes crochet likes to twist. So if you've done this and you feel like our 2 little bobbles aren't quite where the frog's feet ought to go, you may want to adjust them by 1 stitch or the other. It doesn't impact the overall number of stitches on this round, so it won't impact where we close. So I think mine look pretty good. I'm happy with them. I'm gonna go ahead and finish our frog. So round 7, we are going to do a single crochet and then a decrease, and we're gonna repeat that 6 times around. So we'll do 1 single crochet, and then I do the invisible decrease where I pick up the front loop of the first stitch and the back loop of the back stitch, yarn over, pull it out, yarn over, pull through 2 to close, and then I'm going to repeat that all the way around. So 1 single crochet and then a decrease. Single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, single crochet, and then last one we're gonna decrease. Okay, and then to close, we are going to stuff our frog with our little bit of stuffing, and then we will be doing 6 decreases around to finish our little guy off. really wasn't kidding. You need so little stuffing for this little guy. But he's just so cute. It's actually the second one I'm gonna make. The other one's already sitting on my keychain. That's his new home. This guy needs to come with me everywhere. He's too cute just to hide, you know? Okay. Now that we're plenty stuffed, I am going to do my 6 decreases and then we'll finish it off. We're going to do those decreases just like we did before. Pick up the first loop of the first stitch and the back loop of the next stitch and single crochet as usual. Okay, we do need to leave a little bit of yarn so that we can sew the hole closed and finish off. I'm just going to pick up the outer loop of these stitches and gently tug to close as I go. And now this is kind of small, so I'm actually going to insert my hook directly through the dead center of where we've closed. And I am going to go up through the back here. And I'm just going to pull it just to kind of get it to sink that in just a little bit. You don't want it sticking out on the bottom. And then I'll just secure this through 1 or 2 stitches up here. And then I'll come back down through, do the same thing, just weave it through just a couple of the stitches. Poke it through to where it comes out the side. Cut it off. And our frog is made, you guys. How fast was that? All right, I want to give this little froggy a smile, so I'm going to grab some yarn in worsted weight size. I have black handy. Okay, so I'm gonna thread on some black and we're gonna make ourselves a happy frog. So I am gonna come down 1 stitch about in the center of the eye and bring my yarn through there. Now I am going to go down just 1 stitch and come out in the next one. And then I'm actually gonna go backwards into the same loop that we were just in, but I'm going to come out 2 over. And then I'm going to go back into this last one here that's open and come out 2 over again. And now I'm going to go back into this last one, but I'm going to bring my needle out up 1 on a diagonal. And then I'm going to bring this next one down right here to where the end of our line is. And I'm going to pull my needle out through the bottom. That way we've got a nice, secure, froggy smile. Okay, and then to secure this, I just tightly knot this twice. And then we can cut our yarn off as close to our knot as we can. And then poke it back through. All right. There we go. We've got our little froggy. Now here's how I attach my keychain. So this set comes in 2 pieces. So you have your keychain loop with a small chain attached, and then it comes with this other ring called a jump ring. So I'm going to, using my needle nose pliers, hold this jump ring. I'm going to go ahead and thread it through the small chain. And then I'm going to come over here to our frog and I'm going to pick a loop that's as close to in between his eyes as I can get. And now you do need a second pair of some kind of pliers. It doesn't have to be these jewelry pliers. It could just be another pair of needle nose pliers like you have here. you just need something that is firm enough to grab it and twist it closed. And I am just going to grab it from the sides and just make sure that it's as tight as we can get it. You don't want the disconnect there on that loop snagging on the yarn because it will fray it over time. But that is it. We are all done. We have this adorable quarter-sized keychain frog. I hope that you've enjoyed this today. This has been a lot of fun, and I hope that you take lots of pictures with your frog as you take them with you. Thanks so much, guys. See you soon. Bye, y'all.